Alright, hi, me again. Xavier, I'm back with uh, with the first recap of season 23 of Dancing with the Stars. Last night was a premiere, and it was a very, very good premiere. I'm just gonna go ahead and get started because we had 13 couples, and I just need to get through it really quickly. All the scores are out of 40 points. We have four judges this season. Julianne is back. That's number one. Number two, I really enjoyed everybody but two couples. I think all 11 of the couples are really great. And I'm so excited to see them dance for the season. So let's just go ahead and get started. First, we had Mary Lou and Derek. They had a jive. They got a 27. Was really good. I was expecting for it to be just a little better, but with all the pre-show, or not pre-show, being first one up of the season, first one up of the night, first dance, all that stuff, just first show, all of those kind of nerves and jitters and stuff, probably going through Mary Lou. On top of that, she was super excited because she's such a fan of the show. So knowing all that, I understand why she kind of seemed to not do as well as I would have liked for her to do, just because, there's a lot of just jitters and nerves going on there. But it was a really good jive. It was a really great jive, especially seeing as though she's a 64-year-old woman. The jive is not an easy dance, and especially if you're on the older side of things, it's going to be harder. So I think she kept up well. Just, again, her jitters and nerves and all that stuff were her biggest problem last night, but otherwise she did a great job. Second, we had James and Sharna. James Hinchcliffe, he is a IndyCar driver, I believe. IndyCar. Yeah, he's not NASCAR. They did a foxtrot. They got a 31. I do think this was maybe a point too high. But it was still very good. His posture was great. It was very, very good, very good. He really wasn't hunched over. He was leading Sharna, and it was evident that he was leading her. His butt kind of stuck out a little bit, but overall it was a really great dance. I thought they did a fantastic job. I like how Julianne compared him to Elio Castroneves from season 5. I do believe that they have very similar traits. I do think that Sharna has somebody who could win, like legitimately win. As long as she really just plays up to his strengths and his charisma and how charming he is and just how fun and his personality, if she plays up to that, I think they'll be great because he can dance. As long as she works on the technique and throwing in that personality and really showing him off, I think that they're going to be really hard to beat. Next, we had Calvin and Lindsay, Megatron, and they had a cha-cha. They got a 26. I thought this was really good. I think it started off kind of shaky, but as the dance went on, he really settled into it and really got into it and really just kind of sold it and took it on as his own and just went for it. It just was really enjoyable to watch. He kind of reminds me of like a Jason Taylor, because Jason Taylor was also very, very tall, and not just tall, but very lanky, not thin, but like, athletic, muscular build, but very tall, and very long limbs. I do think that he has to work on his footwork for sure. He's got to work on his musicality just a bit more, because there are times where it seemed like he was almost off, but he didn't really get off, but it seemed like he was right there. But I think Lindsay is really proving herself to be a great pro, and I think she sees this. I mean, she already kind of worked on him finishing off his lines and making sure he doesn't move too big, because he is a really tall guy. But I think she's done a really good job of kind of getting rid of those huge problems already. So again, I think they're on their way to being great. Next was Maureen and Artem. They had a Viennese waltz. They got a 22. And I do think this was slightly underscored. I would have given it probably like a 23. Um, threw in one more 6. I think Maureen definitely has room for improvement. But what she did well, she really did well. But she was just hesitant and just lacks confidence and is just not sure of herself. And it's just a lot of moments where she was like, I don't know what to do next. Artem, help me. And you could see that come through in her performance. But when she was sure of what she was doing, it was really good. So obviously there's something there. Again, another fan of the show, so she knows how the show goes. Um, I want Artem to really just try and help her with her confidence because I think that's the biggest thing right now is her confidence. Once that gets up, I think the rest will kind of follow. Um, Great job though. Next was Babyface and Allison. They had a foxtrot. They got a 26 as well. I think they did a great job. I liked Allison's choreography for this. It's very different than what I'm used to for her. I do think she probably took some time during her season off and during her pregnancy and all that stuff to really just kind of study ballroom dancing a little more and really just figure out kind of light and shade and stuff because it wasn't so pow like I'm used to. It wasn't so hit, 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 like she always does. So I was really pleased to see that. I was pleased to see Babyface dancing so well and really bring out this it's very suave and smooth kind of side of him. I mean, it's always there. That's just him. But he really brought it out in his dancing, and I just want Allison to take that and really make dances around that personality because I do think that they could be lost in the shuffle, but I want her to find a way to separate him from everybody else, and that's one way that she can definitely separate him from everybody else. It's just give those cool and calm performances, but that are just amazing. I would love for them to stay around for a while, but yeah. Next was Amber and Max. They got a 24 for their foxtrot. Amber did really well. She's very elegant. She moves so well across the floor. She really glided across the floor during this foxtrot, which is exactly what you need for that dance. But yeah, her movement quality is just very, very. I just loved it. I love that very first part, the silhouette, where she was dancing. It was very sexy, very hot. I thought that really made sense in the dance and the song and all of that stuff. I don't like that drivey heaving part that they did. That was strange. I don't know why Max put that in there. But again, I think another thing here is confidence and not doubting herself because Amber can play the part of a really like princess and a girly girl and all that stuff. She can really play that part. I just want her to believe it because she can do it. Next was Vanilla Ice and Whitney. They had a cha-cha and I wasn't expecting much from these two just because they have had a lack of rehearsal time because he's been touring and he's touring every day and they've been flying city to city and there's been a lack of space as well. So I wasn't expecting much, but this is actually really good. I'm surprised at how well he can move still. He's a really good dancer, just naturally gifted. He's one of the best dancers, like just natural dancers on the show this season. And even though it was a lot of hip hop, and I understand why Whitney went that way, it was still like the cha-cha that he did was actually really good. So yeah, I'm excited to see them. I want Whitney to now concentrate on getting more content in the dances, but I mean, it was a great job for sure. Next up was Jana and Gleb. They had a Viennese waltz. They got a 27, and it again another good performance. These two, Gleb has come such a long way since season 16 with Lisa Vanderpump. His choreography was really good, and I like the risk that he took, because Jana is one of those celebrities that could easily fly under the radar, and especially on a night like this, because for me, I didn't know her at all before this season. She could have easily just fallen flat, been a good dancer, but really nothing happens, or she didn't really shake the table too much. So I like that he went for more of like a hot kind of sexy Viennese waltz, and again, the song kind of called for that anyway. Um, but I mean, she did a great job. She's a natural. Her lines were great. That leg lift that she did was beautiful. Um, I'm glad that he did that, because now she's on my radar, and she's probably on everybody's radar now because of that risk that he took. It was a calculated risk, but I think it's going to pay off for sure. Jake and Jenna were next. They had a jive. These are back-to-back train wreck performances. So they had a jive to Kiss You by One Direction. Terrible jive song. Corbin and Karina had it back in season 17. They could handle it because Karina was a seasoned pro, and Corbin was a very good dancer already, so they could handle it. Jake and Jenna. Jake is learning how to dance, and it is her first season as a teaching pro, so it wasn't going to fare well. Not only that, she just gave him way too ambitious of a routine to handle. He just got lost and never really got back on. It looked like he was trying to catch Jenna the entire time and catch up to her. And his technique just wasn't very good. He does have potential there, but I do fear that he may be the one eliminated next week, just based on how that dance went. His celebrity or his partner not being as well known as the other pros, and just suffering from a not very good dance. Yeah. Rick and Emma were next. They had a cha-cha. They got a 20. Besides the fact that he's just not a very good dancer, and there's always that one person that they don't really talk about how well they did, because they don't really do well. I will say he had fun. He seems like he's nice to be around. I don't agree with his politics, but he does seem like a okay person. He's just having fun. So, you can't ask for more than that, honestly. I don't think he'll get very far this season, because even though that can take you pretty far in a lot of seasons, I don't think it'll take you that far with this cast. But again, he had fun. He enjoyed himself. It was fun to watch. It just wasn't a good dance. Next was Tara and Sasha. They had a jive and they got a 25. I think Tara did a really good job. Even just thinking about the fact that she is a little person, and as she said, like, Sasha's 1-2 is her 1-2-1-2s. Just thinking of that, I think she did a really good job keeping up with Sasha, and not look like she is trying to keep up with him, but look like she is in that moment and dancing with him, not keeping up with him, if that makes sense. And I think Sasha did a really good job of making sure that there's that distinction there, and that it didn't look like she was kind of floundering. So, I think she did a really good job. She has a lot of like showmanship and a lot of musicality, so I think they could be really good. Again, I do think their height difference is going to cause some problems in the ballroom dances, but I think they'll be have a pretty good season. Ryan and Cheryl were up next with their foxtrot. They got a 24. Not going to talk about Ryan, the incident that happened. I will say that Ryan surprised me. He did a decent job. It wasn't great, but again, there's potential there. Cheryl will definitely know what to do to get the most out of him that she possibly can. So I thought they did a decent job. And finally was Lori and Val. Great job. Can't say much else. They got a 31 for their cha-cha. Amazing. I'm worried about how she's going to do when this Kellogg's tour picks up, but I think she'll be great. So that is my recap of Dancing with the Stars, season 23, week 1. I will see you all next week. Bye.